evening, everyone. Today is 5:30, Wednesday, August 23rd. This is a meeting of the Golf Facilities Exploratory Committee.
July 20th.
July 23rd, I'm sorry. That's correct. And do I have a motion to open the meeting?
Motion.
Second?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Gentlemen, on our agenda tonight, let me get my papers in order here. I moved everything around. Do we have an agenda?
Yeah, use mine.
All right. Oh, I do. Okay.
You got it?
Thank you. Yep. All right. Thank you. We have to approve the meeting minutes. We have meeting minutes from May 1st, 2025, and May 21st, 2025. I've had a chance to overlook them. I've seen no discrepancies in them. So, do I have a motion? Unless someone.
Motion to accept the minutes.
Do I have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Okay. Gentlemen, it's been interesting. This whole process started February 11th, and here we are, July 23rd. I wanted to get us all together, get us up to speed. It's been 2 months since our last meeting, and just to discuss where we're at, how we're going to move forward, and how do we close up this process, button it up, and move it on to the golf committee and to the board of selectmen. So, any comments, please? Raise your hand. We're open to them at any time, and we'll go from there. Since our last meeting, which was, like I said, 2 months ago, I received an email from the architect on Friday. So it's been 2 months since our last contact with the architect. And I'm going to read what he had to say. Good morning, Dave. Hope all is well. We have been hung up by the cost estimating consultant who is fighting his own schedule and is also a bit short-handed during vacation season. I was promised mid-July, and here we are. I will bang on his door again today and seek a hard delivery date. I have also been working on the layout of the 2 site options as we discussed. The draft copies of these 2 schemes are attached for your review and comment. I look forward to, and we should have received those. That's what we just received now, or today. He sent those over Friday morning. I look forward to hearing your thoughts on option B, which shows the clubhouse setback in the position of the current practice green, and also a good-sized short game practice area. When you take a look at it, you'll see that where the clubhouse now would be, where the practice putting green and also chipping green would be located. As soon as and going back to his email, as soon as we have the estimate in hand, I will call you to schedule a committee meeting at which I think we can circle around the preferred design and project budget. And it says, Dana, can you look at this from an operation perspective and share any concerns or ideas? Much appreciated, Kurt. So that's kind of where we stand. We, I agree. We've had kind of a gap in this whole process, getting there. So, wanted to get together, really, just as we were, talking. Should have an open-ended conversation about what we think is going on and how we want to proceed, and kind of wrap this up. I also watched the selectmen's meeting back on June 25th, and they gave us 2 more months to wrap this up, because we had to be reappointed as a committee, and there was a 2-month extension for us to exist as a committee. So, and I really do believe, and please I don't want your comments, but I do believe we're at the point where we're good to go. I mean, the number is always going to be the number. We agree that this layout, and if there's any objection to it or changes, that we'd like to make, I think that was the time to do it. But the layout for the clubhouse itself works great. It's 3,900 square feet. We got plus 1,800 square feet of decking, and with an 800-foot basement on the front half, where the pro shop, public lobby, men and women's room are, and the commercial kitchen has a full basement under it, and then the rest is pour on slab. So right there, Wayne, as you discussed, and mentioned, the savings cost is very good, just in doing it that way.
That front half is, where it says heated, is 3,900 square feet?
3,900,
I don't believe that is correct, but.
let's see what we got. It's saying in the,
It's just this front half.
in the minutes meeting?
Yeah, I'm sure
It's
it's
3,900 square feet, it can't be.
I think it's 3,900 for everything.
For everything.
3,900, right,
For
3,900.
everything, so the heated
that's
space is
including
not
the back.
3,900 square feet. It says estimated 3,900 feet heated space.
Right, so that might have been a
It
speaking.
should be almost half that, which is a big difference in cost wise.
Mhm. So we'll make a point of that and talk to Kurt about that, but I agree with you right there, because I see,
I'm just trying to go by his measurements here, but,
yep, I see the 800 square feet, and then you got the hallway that runs,
yeah, so
call it east to west.
it's like 84 times,
And about
84 times.
10 feet,
about
the hallway.
84 times 30.
All right.
It's
And
probably
then,
even a little less than that, but probably like 2,300, maybe, something like that.
okay,
Yeah, so it's half that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so it should be half that. The big difference between a heated space and, of course, the outside pavilion, cost-wise, is probably gonna be half, you think? Or
Yeah.
a little, maybe a little more than half? 60%,
Yeah,
you know?
depending on, you know,
Yeah.
what you're using as a figure, obviously.
right. I did meet with the chairman of the board of selectmen, and he was satisfied, impressed with what we've come up with so far as the plan goes. And, you know, because he also requested having the open air pavilion side of it, which is attached to the building. And so I think we've met a lot of the desires and the input from the board concerning that and what they want to have for the clubhouse. We've also come up with two different schemes, which we can discuss tonight, you know, and, you know, we all have our opinions, if we want to put it where it exists, and I'll put it up on the putting green, but that's really not our job for the final decision to make. We've put this forward for the golf committee and the board of selectmen to decide. And then,
If I may, Mr. Chairman.
yes,
I think this one, of course, this one is it goes where the tent, the trailer is now, and that's the putting green?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, the second one has.
And the second one, of course, that's what, okay.
Yeah.
right, second one, right, is, you can see he left the red box
Yep.
where the existing trailer is. Rich, you have any question?
I don't have a question, I just have like a roundabout statement. I think we're past designing the property. I think the building, the cart barn, and the two layouts we have, I think we're done. And I think what we need to do, to your point, is move this to the golf committee with, here's your design. We're waiting for estimates on how much this is going to cost. Right, those are budget prices because we don't know when we're gonna do this, so they're for the town to make budgets, but I think we're there. I mean, we've been waiting for 2 months, it's not on our end that we've been doing anything to make this go 2 extra months. But I don't think we have any more latitude we've gone through the iterative process of designing the property, whether it's inside the building, outside the building, the deck, where it's gonna live on the green, on the existing putting green. We've gone through the gymnastics of doing that already, and I think it's all been a healthy debate, and we've turned over all the stones. I think we're at the point where this committee can hand off these plans and as our recommendation for what the solution should be.
I have one other point, Dana.
Yes.
Jeff and I were just talking about it. Wouldn't it make sense, I mean, if you look at this plan, you've got the outside pavilion, and then you've got the indoor dining room, which are almost equal. I'm looking at the measurements, they look like they're equal. Wouldn't it make sense to make that indoor space a little smaller than the outside space bigger? That would even cut down on cost, because the outside space is just gonna be a pavilion type.
Yeah,
Because the
You're gonna save a
inside
lot of
space,
money
if you
doing that.
just made it so you could have a bar, people wanna go in there, maybe 40 people inside. You're still gonna use the whole thing when you have a tournament or something. But,
I think cutting that would be,
I don't think that's a good idea.
I don't think that's a good idea.
no?
I don't think you're gonna save a lot, Wayne. I don't really think you're gonna, because, and when we were going through the exercises of like, what's the flow gonna be like, how are we gonna use it, we had so many different ways that I think it's versatile the way it is.
Right. And we, roughly with our outings, you typically use like 9 holes for 80 players, which fits in that box, or you're using double the space for a full event, which incorporates the outdoor pavilion. So again, I mean, if you want to have them run numbers to shave space off, see what it costs, you could do that. I think
General
80
idea
is
they
the
don't think
size of
it's a good
something
idea, that's
large,
fine.
and
I just didn't know if that
pretty confined space.
I think and I get it, I see where your position is, but I think we're at the point where we're just still trying to trim.
Right.
And we're changing the experience for the golfer.
Right.
And I don't know if that's the right.
I think, like Rich said, we're ready to move forward.
Yeah, I like what it looks like.
I think Dana can critique the actual, like, where should the pro shop be, right side, left side? Because we have to come up with blueprints. Now, I assume Kurt is gonna be the one preparing those for us. We're paying him to produce a set of plans. Now, these are fine, but these aren't plans for somebody to
Right.
take off.
And I'll be honest, I think that determination would be dependent upon what the location is, if you're gonna go on the putting green or you put it up front.
Sure.
Right? So that might shift the idea of where we want it. So once that's determined,
That might shift where you want your section, the pro shop, right
Right.
side, left side. You want to be able to be more visible. The kitchen doesn't need to be visible of the golf course.
correct.
The pro shop should be, and you, the employees inside should be, eyes should be
Yeah, it wouldn't
more.
hurt to have some windows on
Right.
what's taking
So
place.
that part has to get tweaked, whether it's already carved in stone with this. And then when it comes down to is blueprints. I assume that's what we're paying Kurt for. Is that correct?
Well, at this point, are only paying him for the concept. That's my understanding
so-
from the
And I think
original.
those costs, to your point, real drawings for someone to build
Yeah, go out
off
to
of,
bid.
right, that goes out to bid. I think that's part of this capital expenditure that we're gonna have to come up with, right?
Right, but the amount of money we're paying Kurt, which is besides the point, but I think, I thought it was to do with, he's gonna come up with plans and everything.
And he is, once we have, in those two-dimensional drawings, which are conceptual essentially, right? We have different options in there, right? He gave us a couple of different options.
Yes.
Some of them were, at the end of the last time we met, I thought those were.
Pretty good.
They were pretty damn close.
Yeah. So with all that being said, once we get these blueprints, do we need to produce blueprints to the board, to the two committees? Or is that something that once they agree and say, okay, because,
I think the second part is we give them what we got, and then this gets approved, this goes through that process, and then,
because,
In order to do the
Because he's
blueprints, you
estimating
have to
the
have it
numbers.
approved, which we're not gonna have.
okay,
Well, Doug, to answer your question, right here is the conceptual design, is the contract
okay.
that they design. And I don't believe it goes to blueprints,
So,
that sort of thing. It's pre-design, architectural concept plans, landscape architectural designs, then conceptual design, architectural design documents and project management. What's MEP and FP engineering services?
mechanical stuff.
Okay, structural engineering services, future, independent cost estimator, future. So it's a $25,000 project to come up with a conceptual design of the place.
right,
So
which
there's
is
no
a fair amount
plans.
of money. But,
Well, it depends who you're talking about that, I'm sure. I'm sure that the architect is,
right, I understand.
you know, but no, it's a signed contract that I
Right,
have.
that's
And I
fine.
think we all
Yep.
received this somewhere along the line, just to get an understanding of exactly what he was doing. So I think he's taken us up to this point. And then from our perspective, we take it from here. And I couldn't have said it better, Rich. You know, we're at the point where, you know, we've looked at it this way, looked
We
at it that
fulfilled
way.
our job.
We've fulfilled our obligation, you
Yeah.
know? Because remember, it's Board of Selectmen, Golf Committee, and us. So we're a subcommittee to a
To the
to
golf
a
committee.
subcommittee, you know, because, what's the word I'm looking for? The golf committee is
Advisory board.
excuse me?
An advisory
An
board.
advisory board, because, you know, even the Board of Selectmen doesn't have to take the advice of the golf committee. They're the final say. So, being in the position we're in, I think, you know, we're pretty much there.
I think some of the feedback we could give to the golf committee would be that we could do this in phases to make it more palatable to the town. And for one example could be that we would leave out the cart barn to start. I think you and I talked about this the last time I saw you at the club. Where the cart barn could be something we do, it's phase 2 or however we want to call this. You know, even some of the parking designs, which are pretty significant in the layout. And parking is not as cheap as it used to be. Asphalt's, that kind of work's expensive. That could be phase 3, things like that, because that's not hurting our operation. The reason we're here is because we don't have a clubhouse. And that whole concept of putting this out in phases might be more palatable for the selectmen, for the committee, and for the members of the town at a town meeting.
Exactly. You know, we're looking at the overall project, but it can be done in phases. It can be done in
Like, if you take the cart part away, this becomes immediately more palatable, right?
Mhm.
Like, it's a different number altogether.
Changes the
I mean, trust me, I think we should do it all at once, but philosophically, that might be right, but it might not be practical.
Right, considering what we've seen going on in the town and town meeting and
Yep.
and how, you know, and we have to remember, this is a enterprise fund, the golf course is paying for itself. It's not taxpayer money.
Yep.
So, but that's not our job
That's the select board's job.
to sell it.
You and I have talked about this ad nauseum, right? Our job is to work with an architect to build a design, make recommendations. I think all the expertise we had in the room over the last 7 months has really, you know, got us to a place where we can hand this off.
So I guess the point is now, we're just waiting for the final number to put on the, you know,
Those are estimates that he's gonna get us. I mean, I've done things like this at work. They're usually conservative, which means they're probably hefty, bigger than they probably will be.
Yeah.
Which is good. But do we need to wait to hand this off to them to get, do we need to wait to get the estimates to hand this off to the golf committee? Because where we are right now, we're waiting, it's been 2 months.
Right.
And I'm not sure knocking on the guy's door is gonna make it happen any faster, given the 2 months we've been waiting for said estimates.
Right. Question to Sydney. Has the select board determined any dates for town meeting at this time? Has there been any pre-discussion or?
Unofficially, late September, early October.
Okay, so the sooner we can get it to the golf committee, the sooner, you know, it can go to them and they can make that decision.
Let me ask my question a little more simply, because I didn't do a good job and I apologize. Should we hand them what we have now without the numbers?
I think so.
I think so.
Yeah.
I think we're at the point of.
With Dave Flynn being part of this, as well as the chairman of the golf committee, he can then
Well, they
request.
right, they got the numbers, they got the
Right.
money. You know, they know what they got in their budget, they know what they're willing to put in. You know, because I do believe, you know, this is my own personal,
Obviously.
this is my own personal opinion, that the golf committee, you know, or the golf course is gonna put some money into this.
Well, I'm saying too, he has contact with Kurt, so if he wants some specifics, he can reach out and request, and they have a direct
Right.
contact,
They
line of
do.
contact, so I
They
think,
do.
I think we knocked it out of the park, I think it looks great, and it's a great stepping stone to the next phase of where it goes, and I'm comfortable presenting it.
I just think, and I agree with this idea, I just think we do need to present a little better plan, you know, in writing about where we're at and.
Should we put together a slide deck for the golf committee and us present to them? Whether it's on paper or on a PowerPoint where we pull the screen down, I'm asking.
I have no problem with that. I think there should be a formal
Right, the-
presentation
Right, to the golf committee.
to the golf committee
Yep,
about what we have, and, you know, I don't know how much they've discussed the process, that sort of thing, but, and give them the information that we've acquired and let them go with it, because the point, once again, Rich, you're right, and I think we all agree, the point we're at is now we're trying to discuss the money aspect and come up with that. This thing could get put off till 2027. You know, it's, what is the idea of when they're gonna build it? The golf course did they make their payment already for this year? What do they pay? 300
I
grand?
think they, that takes place, I'd have to talk to the accountant, but it usually takes place within the first month of the new fiscal year.
All right, so,
If it hasn't happened, it's happening
So it's
soon.
now.
right, so if by September they've paid off, they owe like 43 or 45,000 next year from what I heard on the meetings. There's a small payment they have to make, so the course is basically paid off this year. So are they gonna advance right ahead without paying it off completely and look to build next October, November, because there's talk about building it, we discussed this, building it during the winter, so it disrupts the least amount to the play of golf. So that would put us at next year, at October of '26. And if there's, you know, still more discussion on pricing and how the town wants to work all that out, you know, how getting the bids,
So
however.
with Kurt's contract, he is going to provide some type of a budget. Now, he might not have it before we actually go to the golf committee in 2 weeks or whenever we decide to do that. But it's up, he is liable, obligated to give
Well,
us
he
some
already
type
gave
of
us
budget.
those rough numbers, and then
He
we
did.
made some changes, so I think now we're just waiting for those, the
Right.
updated numbers, which I imagine he would give us, because he gave us the original numbers, you know.
Right.
There's a lot of detail in those estimates that you gave us.
Yeah, it was a
Right.
big breakdown.
Right.
There is, but this last one he gave us, which I think everybody has here, this top one, he has 7,448 square feet for the new clubhouse building, but that's,
Right, he gave us 5
Well,
different
yeah, he gave
phases.
multiple different designs, like different
Right.
sizes, different everything, I mean, we're probably on the lower
Yeah.
end of that, you know, where we're
Doug.
at right now.
Here's the answers to your questions,
Okay.
okay? Broken down into his contract that he signed.
Yeah.
with the cot building, but that's 7,400 square feet. We've got half of that, right, or close to half of that. I don't think he ever came through with updated numbers on.
No, we're waiting.
Well, that's what we're waiting for the appraiser to
So I
show.
would think if you're gonna present this, wouldn't they want to have some type of number?
Well, we,
I asked the question, if we wanna wait till we get estimates, we just don't know when that's gonna be, at the rate they're going.
So, the only thing I would question is if, let's say this committee dissolves, who's leaning on the architect for those numbers? Like, are we should communicate at least with the golf committee to make sure that they're gonna do that.
Yeah, I'm sure.
You know what I mean?
If
think that's
it
my
wasn't me,
point.
Dave,
We might not be around.
right, well, that was my point with mentioning Dave Flynn and myself. I could reach out and put a push on it. And then Dave has his contact information as well. Being the chairman of the golf committee, he can reach out and say, hey, listen, we're gonna meet and discuss the next phase of where we're going with this. We kind of need to tighten it up on what's the estimates. So I think with that, I mean, you can be a little bit more comfortable knowing that we've got some people in place that have contact with them. I'm not gonna say that he's gonna react any differently to us than he has.
Yeah,
No, but to his point, if this committee is dissolved, we're not gonna have the
No,
access.
And if nobody else cares to follow up with it, all of this work was for nothing.
well,
oh,
not
I think the
necessarily.
golf committee will follow.
yeah, I got it.
I think they're kind of up to date on all of our stuff, so.
I think, to be honest with you, this is the grunt work of getting this project started. And now that you see what it is in fact that can be accomplished, taking to the next phase is a phone call away of getting those estimates. And once that's done, then it goes on the selectmen's plate. And
You wanna
they
wait?
decide what they want to do.
Give Kurt another week or two before, because we got less than 2 months.
Well, we got till, you know, till the end of August.
Okay.
So-
I thought our term had already expired.
It
We
did, but
needed to
they-
be sworn in,
They reappointed us for 2 months.
without being sworn in again.
Correct.
Yeah, I think that was just it was an email or text communication, right? Something like
I
that?
saw an email that said we needed to be sworn in again.
Raise your right hands.
I have to agree with this, yeah. so it's me. I'm the reason why I
Who's gonna
don't
buy
this morning, yeah.
No, they reappointed. As long as we went the first time, we're good, because they did that with everybody. On the June 25th meeting, I remember the date,
Yeah, we
for whatever
signed.
reason. They reappoint everybody. You were reappointed as
Just,
building inspector or assistant
Yeah.
building inspector, right?
Yeah.
Right, so they named everybody off on the whole list of people who are appointed to every committee.
my only concern is Kurt went radio silent with us for 2 months.
Yeah,
And what are the chances of him doing that again?
Probably good because he just got his checks, so it took me 2 weeks to get him to turn in his W-9. Because we had the invoices, but we couldn't cut the check without the W-9, and I asked him for 2 weeks. I hounded everybody in his office, finally I said, if you don't get a W-9 in within 24 hours, it's gonna be about a year before you see your checks. And lo and behold, you got the W-9.
you know, I'll give him a call tomorrow. You know, so, Sydney and myself reached out numerous times, you know,
I mean, he could have called, he could have communicated to you or to Sydney or to whomever and said, I'm having a tough time wrangling in the estimator. And we would have been, okay, at least we know. But how many conversations did you and I have saying, this
Yeah.
guy's gone radio silent on us?
yeah, I mean, right.
It's a little frustrating.
It is a little
Rolling the
frustrating.
dice all over again. And I think, does it hurt to give the committee what we have so far?
And let them deal with the numbers.
I'm asking.
Yeah.
I know, I think,
Well, that's what I'm,
yeah.
you know, reaching upon.
How much longer is this committee appointed for?
About 6 more weeks, until August.
So we'll get in touch with Dave and
Fine.
want to inquire and say, listen, do you want what we've got? And we'll carry the ball moving forward, or do you want us to keep pounding on this and get some estimates?
I think Dave should try to reach out to the guy. I mean,
Yeah,
they
sure.
have a rapport.
Yeah, he's the one
And-
that hired him, right?
And Dave is,
And my point on this is that we should just have some kind of formal, not just say, hey, here's all the stuff, and, you know, you figure it
No,
out. At least we have
I'm a
an open,
huge-
well, we have to have a committee.
I'm a huge advocate for this committee to present to them,
Correct,
whether it's on paper or up on the screen.
yeah.
And I don't know if we need Kurt there or not to answer some technical questions, but I would volunteer to do the presentation if you guys wanted to. I have no problem doing that.
Well, I have no problem with that either,
Yeah,
you know,
I say we control what we control
Yep.
and let everyone else do that thing, you know?
yeah. Yeah, absolutely, because we are at the point. I mean, nothing's really changed in 2 months from the design. We got the 2 concepts of where we can put it.
Even once the numbers come back, nothing's gonna, we can't change that.
That's right.
Right.
When I'm done designing is
Yeah,
really where we're
right,
at.
exactly. So those numbers are gonna be those numbers, so.
Yeah.
right. And they're obviously gonna go out to bid if everything's accepted, however many people bid on this project. And the other point on the project is, are we married to Kurt to follow through with this? I know that's probably not our decision, but
I don't know, you're asking me, that's,
I mean, there's
we'll
a-
talk to the golf committee or the board of
I
selectmen.
think if,
You know,
I think if his firm wants to remain credible and doesn't want any bad
Right.
PR, I think they're gonna finish this and kind of button
Yeah.
it theirs.
right, but see it through the entire project next year.
Same with construction.
Yeah, I mean,
I mean, it's,
I've been on jobs where they didn't, where they switched architects midstream.
yeah, but
Well,
Design
that's no
plans.
fun.
buy blueprints, $2,000, $3,000, $4,000, whatever it costs for real blueprints, then they get submitted out to bid. And at that point, do we really need it?
Yeah.
I don't think we do.
Typically, architects are on owners' meetings and
True.
staying on till they turn the keys over. My experience.
10% fee.
I mean, they get paid, and they negotiate that up front. At least that's what I've done in the
Right.
past. We've said, hey, you know, you're gonna be on, you're gonna sit in on owners' meetings, you're gonna be part of the team, and we're gonna,
It's
you know, I did it during COVID, and we just did it on video the whole time. It was awful, and you know, and it worked. I think we need it. I think we need their firm to be a part of this.
Yeah,
It's not a small project. I mean, in this,
I
to do it
don't
right.
think it would be wise to run blind on this, to be honest with you.
Usually-
We selected him out of all of those architects for a
Right.
reason. The
Right.
portfolio was self-explanatory, it was here compared to all the competition,
and,
so.
and I understand this isn't Nantucket. You know,
Right.
he showed my comment in Nantucket,
Right.
you know.
Yeah.
you know,
Well, that's the other thing,
and
it's,
Quincy built that $14 million clubhouse.
Hey, I'll tell you
last
what,
year.
if he didn't want our business, he wouldn't have been here.
Right,
Yeah.
right, I
This
concur,
this is a good job.
yeah, you know. And he's done, I mean, he's presented a good project and, you know.
To Doug's question too, sometimes these firms, these architectural firms will, instead of Kurt, they'll put a project manager on the site. And they'll be working with the builder, on, you know, interpreting drawings and making sure.
well, that's what the OPM is, right? And you hire somebody to look out for the owner, in this case, it would be the town of Acushnet.
Yes.
And they just go to the job site, they make sure that the contractor is doing what they're supposed to do.
Exactly.
I mean, we could have our assistant building inspector do that.
That's outside of my committee.
Is it though?
Well, that's to bring up with the golf committee and the board of selectmen. That's what I would say, Doug.
I'm serious, I'm serious.
Well, I'm not like brushing it aside, but I'm just saying that, you know, I don't know, that's the next level step.
Right.
That's outside
Our
of the
ownership
decision.
consists of this concept.
Right. I always looked at this as, we gotta come up with the concept for the golf course to make something that works for the golfers. All right, and we decided that early on, you know, we stepped away from having the grand pavilion and having weddings there and bringing it outside, bringing a restaurant in and being open till 10 o'clock at night. We've brought it down to where it works for the town and for the golf course and for the golfers. And, you know, I'm proud of that, and, the architect, you know, I know the last 2 months, okay, there's been a gap, but prior to that, he was here every month.
Yeah.
Giving us new proposals, working on it, giving us numbers, and the numbers are gonna change. It's tough to project something, what's it gonna cost now in October 26 or
It's
October
just
27?
projections and estimates, you know?
Exactly.
It's nothing set in stone once he gives us the number,
That's
so.
true.
You know, and we have a number, we got 3.5 million, we got 5 million for the whole kit and caboodle, parking lots, practice areas, cart barn, you know, maybe even a little bit more, and it's gonna be up to the group after us to decide, well, you know, how you wanna phase this in. You know, I think it's a very strong project, it's got support from the select board. You spoke with Bob Hinckley, you know, I spoke with the chairman, and even Mr. Gaspar, you know.
He's on board.
Right, the people are on board with this. Everyone I speak to at the golf course or, you know, wherever I see, they're gonna build a new clubhouse.
Nobody in here took it lightly. We didn't go crazy and say, there's no budget, do whatever we like, you know? Everyone took it seriously and, you know, I think we got what we can present to them, you know?
There's a lot of excitement amongst the town people, especially the golf people, the people that patronize the golf course. Everywhere I go, I bump into people, they're watching the meetings, there's a level of excitement that I expected, but it's pretty good. I think this committee should be proud of what we've done.
And I know it has to go before the town, but once again, I'm gonna say it, it's an enterprise fund, the golf course is funding itself, you're making money, it's been proven now for the last,
Since the beginning of time,
you know,
since we opened in 1998.
and you can support it, you've been paying the notes, so if the note is this way for another 6-7 years, the golf course has proven that it's stable enough,
It's not
and it's
going anywhere.
it's
If you stay in
financially
the pocket,
stable.
you should be able to handle it.
Right,
And I don't think, I mean, what's the other option? They have to do something. You
Right.
can't just leave what's there forever.
No.
You know,
No.
like, something has to be done, so.
So what are our action items? Should we reach out to the committee and ask them if they want to wait to get numbers, or should we hand them, or ask them, can we hand you the design templates, the renderings, and we present to them?
Yeah, maybe we ask them their opinion on what they want, you know?
mhm,
I think that's a reasonable action item while we wait for
Yeah.
the Catalyst firm in Kirk.
correct.
Especially if Dave reaches out and says, the guys are going to the golf course committee in 2 weeks. They need some type of, they're going blind with what they have now, or we're gonna have a number from your company. And either way.
Right, well, they have presented
Now, they just had a meeting last week, right?
Yeah.
Did they?
So I don't know when their next meeting is.
It's
August
like-
14th, 4:30.
At the golf course, or?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, that's where they usually
When
have
is
their
it?
meetings.
August,
August 14th,
3 weeks.
they have their meetings at the golf course.
Yep.
Maybe they could have it here if we are gonna be present as well, or a few of us, or all of us for that matter. We can sit in the back.
I think they would be open to that, absolutely.
And Rich, I have no problem with you presenting, because August 14th, I'm gonna be in Alaska, so, it's all good.
Bring home some sand.
You know, but in the meantime, I would work to get everything, you know, get it organized, because it is good to have a nice presentation for them to flow and to look at, because there's a couple questions I had for Dana, you know, with putting it on the planning green, where you put in the delivery service, but that's up for you guys to decide,
Right.
you know.
I was looking at that, trying to see if we had truck space in there. But I think that would, yeah, that would be.
Right, that's
Well,
what
that
you
was
work
part
on.
of, he had his guy that was supposed to look at the network of cot paths and reconfigure anything that needed to be reconfigured to support that. And it appears that it pretty much looks like, that's what you saw in the flipping, it looks like it's the same cot path, so there was no rerouting. He just kind of put it in
Right.
place and left what was there, but I think that,
But are those both new, or is this OG? Is this what it is now? Do you know what I'm saying? Are these the same because they're both new? They're not the same, because this is different than the next page. There is some slight difference.
Yeah, there is some slight
There's a little
difference.
more asphalt on
More
the,
asphalt on it, it was wider.
where the existing clubhouse is.
One more time.
I'm noticing there's a web above the clubhouse, split over there. And it looks like a lot of patio work, not so much so on a full-on cot path. There's a couple of entryways that lead to it, to the side patio and the back patio up on the putting green. But as far as, any truck drop-off, I'm assuming, you see where all those, on the second page, where all the carts are, we would obviously have some sort of, the truck would have to come in and drop off to an easy-go cart with a flatbed, and then we would take the flatbed cart and deliver it to the clubhouse.
And those are renderings.
Yes,
Those are not blueprints, to Doug's point earlier, right?
Correct.
Those
So
are
those-
conceptual drawings which have,
right.
will give you latitude to make these small changes,
Mhm.
tweaks.
Right.
Yeah, you might have to widen some stuff up to allow access for whatever.
If Tim Garish was
Tim,
part of
that's what I was
this,
talking about.
Yeah.
he knows his stuff when it comes to, I've worked with Tim on projects too. He's very bright, I mean, he's worked with you guys in the past.
He does an excellent job.
Yeah.
So
He
we
knows
call
how
that
wide
to
a
his
road
attention.
needs to be relative for emergency vehicles or tractor
Right.
trailers, I mean, those are like standard things when it comes to commuting traffic and stuff like
To
that.
speak to that point, that should also definitely be incorporated into this idea where emergency access should be able to get out to 18 and 10 with an emergency vehicle if need be.
Right,
You know?
right now
The
they.
fire department, before they stamp all this stuff's gonna say something to that, I guarantee it.
Yeah.
'Cause
'Cause
we are-
right now they got 15, right, the off of,
Yes.
or whatever that name of that road is.
When an ambulance comes, it's too wide for access on car paths, but that's what we set up.
Right.
So do our best.
All right. Comments?
I think we're all on the same page.
I think we're all on the same page, and I agree. Adam?
Good.
Put it all forward and,
We're-
see what they.
We're gonna propose for the putting green, I would assume.
Yeah, well, that's my opinion.
That's gonna, if I could speak to that for 1 second, we had discussed that somewhat at length at the last meeting, and that was one of the things he was gonna come up with numbers, because he was saying that because of the cost of doing it on the putting green, but as you can see from the conceptual drawings, if he's going forward with any of this, the clubhouse and restrooms will need to be portable, and we'll have to be renting them during the construction period. So any relocation of the putting green, the cost of that should be compared against the cost of having a portable operation for that time span. And if it exceeds, if the portable stuff exceeds the movement, the placement of the putting green, it's a no-brainer. You just go on the putting green.
Yeah.
Doug, to answer your question, we're gonna put this forward with two options.
Right.
Then it goes to the golf committee. The chairman of the golf committee has already expressed numerous times his I won't call it desire, I'm not gonna put words in Dave's mouth.
Interest.
His interest in putting it on the putting green. So I believe that the golf committee is gonna have that push behind it, out of the two options. But once again, it comes down to money. If it's $250,000
We
more,
gave them options.
Right.
we give them options, right. That was our job here to do, give them options. You know, give them the thing. You know, we all have our personal opinion on where we want it, but that's someone else's final decision to make.
Right.
And, you know, if it ended up being where the tent is, well, we got a new clubhouse, it's beautiful, and yeah, we should put it up there, but we didn't have the money.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know, you know, how else to describe it. But, you know, we have this.
We
you
can
know,
have a
this-
golf outing to raise money.
Can't get any tee times in places booked.
Sorry, outings are sold out this season. So Dave, Mr. Gasper came by the other day, and I kind of broke it down to him real simplified. And I said, eliminate the whole idea of a clubhouse. And I said, just very simply, if this was your property, and this was your lot of land, would you build your house on the low end, or would you put it on the hill? I mean, and common sense always says you build on the hill. So in discussing it with him, he was like, I had already preconceived that that's where it was going anyway. So I think there's some strong interest in getting it there. I mean, depending on what we find when there's a soil probe up there.
Exactly.
So,
That's key.
yes.
There's appetite for the clubhouse to be where the putting green is.
Right.
I think that's
understand
hands
that.
down, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
unless it comes back that it's double the cost, which I don't think it should be.
Right,
Right.
yeah.
I don't know if there's ledge, we don't know, there's a lot of unknowns.
Yeah.
Again, past our scope of work.
Yeah. You know, I mean, any golfer here, you wanna come up 18, you see the clubhouse, especially the way the 18th hole is positioned, and you get the clubhouse on top of it.
Be like
I
a
mean,
castle.
Come on.
Look great.
All the
You know.
events would be about, like everything would be about.
It's gonna be the first one to put it
You
inside.
know, wing foot. Alright?
100 yards out.
Installed right into the
Anyway, okay, so how do we wanna handle this? How do we wanna come up with a plan? We should, I'll talk to Dave, I'll give
I
Dave a call.
I would,
Okay, and,
We'll see Dave in about 20 minutes.
oh, I am.
Yep.
Alright.
You could put a little pressure on them, try to
And
get some
maybe see if we can get some
numbers
numbers for
within the
Kurt
next 2
before that meeting.
Yeah.
It's 3 weeks, right? They got 3 weeks. to
3
do it.
weeks.
Call it town meetings in 2.
Perfect.
No, I'll give Dave, Kurt a call and see, you know, how he's progressing with it. But I don't think
The
it's
golf
enough.
committee as well and seeing what their appetite is for a presentation.
Yeah. And then if we can do it before August 11th, great. If they want to do it on the 14th, if they want to do it on the 14th, you know, that's great too.
I think they're very excited. They inquire every time I bump into one of them,
Right.
see where we're at. And I've shown them the previous conceptual plans, and everybody's, they like it. They like where we're going with this, so congratulations to everybody for putting in the due diligence
All right.
and getting us to this spot.
So, we'll just leave it as open-ended in the sense that, you know, we'll talk, Sydney will, in a week, we'll come up with a date of what we're gonna do. You know.
Could you have Kurt, if you do get in touch with him, send us all this stuff digitally?
Absolutely.
Scan it all.
Yeah, that way
It'll
we
look
can,
better when I put it together on the screen.
absolutely,
The
absolutely.
PDFs are fine,
Yep.
because I can use that.
You know, and we have the meeting of the minutes, minute meetings, right, whatever I'm trying to say.
Minutes of the-
You know, as a guideline of what we did during the weeks of
Yep.
establishing where we've come to.
This was sent to the PDF yesterday.
If I have it, that's great, but the other stuff,
Oh, the
was
other
only
one.
handed to us
Gotcha. Yeah.
in paper form.
Because this
Right.
was just these two included, right? The two,
Yeah.
Yes.
The breakdowns that Adam was talking about earlier, that you were
Yeah,
showing
those are
the
just-
Yeah.
numbers and some of the drawings, I just got on paper, I looked for them in my email.
Yeah. So that's
I
what
have
we do.
sketches,
Put some
like
pressure on, so we can
exterior
get some numbers.
sketches, and email
Yeah.
them to you.
Perfect.
Absolutely, but otherwise, you know, even if he can't come up with the numbers, he's saying it's the estimator, you know, if he can't get a final number, I still think, I
We
agree.
could present
should-
those original ones.
Right,
Worst
present
case.
the original numbers,
Ballparks.
because we kind of ended up with, I know we said how it started out high. I have all the schemes he sent us, he said A, B, C, D, and E, and we kind of settled on E, which was the lowest price one, so there are numbers that exist.
And again, that wasn't our job, to settle on price.
Right.
It was to present 5 different options,
Their
plus some
square footage
renderings.
was elevated, though.
We're
The
there.
square footage was never down to 3,600.
Well, that's why we're waiting on new numbers.
Yeah.
But,
Yeah.
I think he was supposed to kind of, he did do the new square footage, he just didn't give us new numbers yet, so. So if anything, those numbers should go down, right?
They should go down.
In theory.
Considerably on some of the square footage that he's using.
Yeah.
You know, and what kind of fixtures are we putting in the bathrooms, and what, you know, I mean, what kind of flooring, and what kind of, you know, the finishes are gonna determine
And
the
what's
best
that's
price.
the number
like
per
each
square foot.
contractor coming back
We
with
have
what
to
bid,
negotiate.
you know, like.
Correct, you know, how we're gonna handle that
The
aspect.
market's
So,
gonna dictate, you know, the budget.
That's right. You know, we want gold fittings on all the stuff, or and marble countertops. You know what we're operating with right now, so
Yeah.
anything will be a huge improvement,
Yep.
so.
I just sent everything electronically that I have to the full committee.
Oh, perfect, perfect. Well, with that being said, gentlemen, any other questions, comments? I have a motion to close the meeting for
Make a
tonight.
motion to close.
And have a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.